watching PSI Adrenaline. Enjoy the video. What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be replacing a wheel bearing on a 2007 Chevy Impala. This video is helpful for a lot of different mid-sized GM cars. Tomorrow we're going to be replacing the water pump on a Saturn with a 1.92 as well. So stick around and check out this little informational video. Go ahead and get yourself a jack. Find the subframe mounting. Get yourself a bar. Mine is a 19mm. It might differ from the different years. Break your lug nuts loose. Once you got your lug nuts broke loose, go ahead and start jacking the car up. Once you get your car up high enough in the air, go ahead and put a jack stand underneath. Then when you got everything up in the air, you got a jack stand underneath the car. You got your jack. Go ahead and start pulling the lug nuts off. I forgot one step. Step is you got to take this axle nut off. You just get somebody inside the vehicle to press the brake down, and then you can work it off like that. Alright, so since I just got the axle nut removed, after you do that, which you should have already done it by popping the center cap off of your rim and going through that way. I believe it is a, let's see what's that. 34mm axle nut socket. Get yourself a 13mm and remove this top caliper bowl and this bottom one. Before you do that, you can take something and then put it into your rotor like a pry bar, and then kind of bend it, push it so it compresses the caliper. Then once you get your caliper removed, I just hang it up on my strut tower with a piece of wire so it doesn't drop when you're taking the other bolts off. And then after you get that all tied up, you go ahead and remove these two caliper bracket bolts off, and I believe those are a 15. These are usually pretty well stuck on there, so I just turn the steering wheel and then you can get a bar in there with a 15 on it. When you remove those two bolts in the back there, go ahead and just slide this off. Slide your rotor off. Should come off pretty easily. Fairly new cars, I guess. Not too old. And then when you get to this part, you got three, I think it's 13mm bolts on the back side of this here. Alright, and that's what it looks like when you got it all off. You want to clean this up here just so it rests nicely, and the back side inside of there too. And then you can go ahead and pop this shield back in like so, and put that bearing on in front of it and start working the bolts in. To get the wheel bearing on, put your rotor back on the studs here. Once you get your rotor back on, go ahead and take your caliper brake pad bracket. I think it's a brake pad bracket. Take your brake pad bracket. Gosh, I can barely say it. Go ahead and slide it over the front of it like so, and then line those bolts back up, and go ahead and tighten that down. Put your brake pads back in the same way they came out. It's an easy way to tell that they got the holes in the back, or the caliper, the part that, gosh, I'm drawing a blank here. The part that compresses the brake pads is on the back, so that's an easy way to remember where the brake pad goes, because it's got that little clip there. Slide your caliper back on, and like I said, I compressed it just by sticking a bar in between the rotor in there, and then prying it back and forth, and putting it in both sides and doing that. So it should just slide right back on, and then you're going to stick your bolts. You're going to go ahead and tighten the bolts down for that. And when you get those bolts put back on, go ahead and put your rim back on. Tighten your, and then start threading your lug nuts on there. And then just thread them so they're all the way down, but you don't want to try and tighten it while it's up in the air, because it'll move the CV shaft and everything. You don't want that going on. I just went ahead and removed the center cap as well, because remember, we still have to put the axle socket back in there. So then jack your car up a little bit more, pull your jack stand out, let the car down until the tire touches the ground, and then stop letting the jack down, tighten it up. Then I just tightened up the lug nuts, and then you can go ahead, drop your jack the rest of the way down, pull that out of there. This one likes to get stuck on this. Pop your center cap back in the wheel there, and then that is all. Thanks for watching. See you next time.